Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, it is now 10:11. The quarterly meeting of the Executive Committee for the Louisiana Development of Disabilities Council will come to order. All right, well, this is our first meeting of the new year. Thank you all for sacrificing your time and coming and joining us. We're looking forward to a great year, doing what we do best. Will Ebony Haven please call the roll for attendance, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Jill Hano. Here. Ms. Angela Harmon.
Here.
Ms. Brooke Stewart.
Here.
Mr. Eric Taylor.
Here.
And Ms. Renata Washington.
Here.
You have 5 and you have a quorum.
Thank you, Ebony. At this time, we will have Jill Hano read the mission statement and Ebony Haven to read the ground rules.
We think in the development of disabilities council mission statement to increase independent self-determination, productivity, integration and integration, that's it, and inclusion for Louisiana is with developmental disabilities by engaging in advocacy, capacity building, and systems change.
The ground rules are members must be recognized by the chair before speaking, be respectful of each other's opinions, break for 10 minutes every 1.5 hours, discuss council business in a responsible manner, except as necessary, restrict the use of electronic communication, i.e. texting, during council and committee meetings, silence or turn off all cell phones. The mission statement is posted at every meeting. Be on time for meetings. No alphabets and side conversations are kept to a minimum, done quietly and restricted to the subject heading.
Thank you, Jill and Ebony. Appreciate you guys. To ensure the meeting runs smoothly and that we all can participate in an orderly manner, please adhere to the following rules. For committee members and members of the public attended in person, please raise your hand to speak and wait to be recognized by the chair before speaking. To help the meeting run smoothly, please keep side conversations to a minimum and comments related to the topic we are discussing. For those committee members who are attending virtually, remember you must be on camera and have your first and last name showing to be counted toward our quorum. Please keep microphones muted unless called upon by the chair. Electronically raise your hand to request to speak and wait to be called on by the chair. For attendees, electronically raise your hand to request to speak. Once recognized by the chair, your microphone will be turned on. After speaking, the microphone will be returned to mute. Also, the Q&A is to only be used by needing an ADA accommodation to participate in the meeting. Public comment will not be accepted via the Q&A except for those individuals who requested the accommodation. As for order, committee members in person and virtually will be allowed to speak first. Public members in person will then be called on, followed by public participating virtually and having their hands raised. Comments in the Q&A and chat will be addressed last. As with all hybrid meetings, it can be difficult to keep track of all those wanting to speak in person and virtually. So please, we kindly ask that you be patient. All comments and questions from committee members and the public may be limited to 3 minutes or less should we run into constraints. So please keep that in mind as well. Also, comments about a person's character will not be allowed. Finally, members of the public will have the opportunity to provide public comment before each vote and during designated public comment periods. The chair may also use their discretion to determine if comments would be accepted outside of those times. The next item of business is the approval of the meeting summary for the October 29th Executive Committee meeting, which was distributed. The meeting summary would not be read unless a member requested. Are there any corrections?
That's
Where is it, Gio?
But it's the full council, so. But I did review the executive committee summary, if I can just, without looking at it, approve it. Or motion.
If you give me one moment, I can pull it up. Maybe.
It's okay, Jim.
You noticed it, thank you. Great, I'm gonna go ahead and share it. I think. So I do have it on the screen. It's also linked on the website under the 2025 meetings.
Okay. Thank you so much for putting on the screen. Any other corrections? Okay, if there's no objection, the meeting summary is approved as distributed. Hearing none, the meeting summary is approved. The next item of business is an update of the 2026 legislative advocacy agenda. The chair recognizes Brenton Andrews for the update.
Hey, so I will try to make it quick, because I know y'all have a lot of stuff to, go over. So as y'all recall, your advocacy agenda included, funding for LRS, the emergency alert for folks with disabilities, increased rates for DSW wages, or increased rates and DSW wages, and functional behavior assessments. And this is about the FBA, or the functional behavior assessment. So after y'all voted in October on your agenda, staff, we spent some time looking into the issue. We met with the Department of Education, spoke with some of our advocacy leaders, some of the FHF staff, and trying to look at whether legislation would be feasible this session for that particular issue. And through that process, we realized that we are not in a position yet to be able to move forward successfully with tackling that FBA issue. One of the big challenges we ran into was we don't have a legislator. So there was no one that committed to run the bill. And so even if all the information and all the ducks were in a row, if you don't have a legislator to run a bill during session, it's dead. And their filing time is coming up pretty quickly. And for us to move forward with our legislative activities, which would be legislative visits, roundtables, we had to make a decision on whether or not FBA should be included on the agenda so we can start putting out our information. Another challenge that we had, and it was also a pretty big challenge, was while I think the legislative ad hoc committee and also the council, by voting in October, made the intent clear that you wanted functional behavior assessments to be done earlier, there wasn't a whole lot of specificity about what that looked like. What is earlier? You just said earlier. Apparently, if we're looking at 10 days, did you want 9? Did you want 8? Because what we're looking at is there are guidelines from a federal standpoint of when FBAs are supposed to be used, and that's what Louisiana is supposed to be following. So what you're trying to do is implement a best practice. But what is that best practice? We didn't really have any guidance. And that also would have slowed us down. We would come back to this meeting if we were able to get a legislator on board to try to figure that out. What is it that you were looking for as a best practice for Louisiana? And what does that look like? And so we did meet with Department of Education representatives. We had conversations with them about some of the concerns, especially around like formal and informal removals from schools. And they are planning on working on guidance that they're gonna put out for schools around functional behavior assessments for parents that they can utilize to have more understanding about functional behavior assessments. I know some of the FHF centers or Families Health and Family Centers had talked about incorporating that in trainings when they could. I know Families Health and Families over in Southwest did a training on it last week. And so trying to get more information out there with parents about knowing their rights and that they can request FBAs at any point. So at this point, basically what I'm trying to say, we don't feel like we have enough information, guidance, and even understanding about what a best practice should look like here in Louisiana to move forward with legislation. But if this is something that the council wants to continue working on and feels like there needs to be a change, I encourage you to include that in your Education and Employment Committee. Because that is the purpose of that committee, to have these discussions, to develop these thoughts. So that way, maybe in future sessions, we'll have worked out sort of a plan through that committee of what this would look like. Also in partnership with Department of Education, they also sit on that committee. They can share information and figure out, does this need to go through a legislative process? Or is it something the department can work on directly? Does it need to go through Bessie? Do we need to start at SEEP and try to go to Bessie? Whatever that path looks like. And so I would encourage y'all to consider that, just moving that particular issue into that committee to have some real discussions about the path forward, and then you can bring it up in future legislative sessions if that's the route you decide that you need to go. But that's all I got. The rest of the agenda, all the fact sheets are on our website. With the information that we currently have, we do not currently have any updated information about the rate methodology. Hopefully we'll get some more whenever those committees meet today and the council meets tomorrow. And we also have on the website, and we pushed out an LADDC news that'll give you information about our roundtables, as well as those fact sheets, so you can access all of that information. And start advocating with your local leaders from your region, with your local delegation, your legislators.
Thank you, Brenton. Any discussion or comments from the executive members? Yes, Chair recognizes you.
I think we should move this to that committee because we do have a lot of parents and a lot of people don't know enough information directly towards this, because we need parents on boards with it. And it's something that I think we need to look at.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Taylor, for sharing. Anyone else?
Comments?
No comment?
No comments.
Okay. The next item of business is the consideration of the council member retreat. Ebony, would you like to open discussion with staff recommendations?
Yes, I don't necessarily have any recommendations. If you guys remember from the October meeting, we kind of discussed the council retreat. We didn't settle on a date. We just knew that we couldn't do it in January this time like we did last year, because we were moving. And so it's gonna be very hard for staff to plan a council retreat. And so I will just tell you guys this: if you consider April, we will be in legislative session. So we'll have just started session. Session starts March 9th.
Yeah.
12th. Session starts March 12th. So we will still be in session And we'll still be going to the Capitol for the legislative, agenda items that you guys have. It is the 9th. I thought it was, okay. Yes, so it does start March 9th. So I would keep that in mind if you guys consider April. We're still gonna be in session where Keisha, Brenton, and I are mostly the ones, the staff that are going to the Capitol. And just, running those yellow shirt days. July is more of a meeting where you guys are just basically, approving the plan. And we don't have as much on the agenda for July. October is a full agenda. You guys are voting for another advocacy agenda. You usually, actually July, you're usually voting on contractors for new contracts that start in October. But I can tell you the October meeting is full. So I wouldn't suggest putting it in October. I think July will probably be a sweet spot for you guys to have the council retreat. So I kind of just wanted to reopen that conversation. Those are my suggestions for when you guys should have it. But as far as what you should have, I'm looking for suggestions from the committee. So I will open it, our chair, can you open it up to the committee for suggestions?
All right, let's open up for discussion and suggestions. Does anybody have? I was thinking, after you stated that we would be in session, it would be a good way for current council members, just have the opportunity, if they haven't, we can go collectively to the Capitol, have something like that, that way we can all be a part. And really get, real world instruction on how that goes, what it looks like, just a, visual, because everybody have not participated in that. So it could be something that we could do as a group, if we can, a little part of it. If we
Like
can combine-
incorporate like a
incorporate
Capitol
like
Day?
a Capitol Day.
Okay.
For everyone. And that way, we all have. If we haven't attended, so. That's just my suggestion. Yes.
I was just gonna second what you said. I agree. I think that we should do it all together. Especially for those of us who haven't had a chance to be able to attend a Capitol Day. So I think that we should all be able to do it together and kind of be more hands-on and let people see us and we see them and
Yes.
get our voices out there, because that's important. These are important as well, but I believe that being able to let people see us and actually hear us, that's very important. So
Together as a unit, right?
together is very important. We can't do this by ourselves.
Right.
If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't even have this. So I think that we should all get together as a group, and do this together.
We hear from.
Yes, ma'am.
Sounds like, sounds like would this like be our retreat, like going to the Capitol?
It'll be a part of it. I don't know how many days it will be, but it could be incorporated maybe, after some discussion on some things, and we could just go, just incorporate a day, we go out, and then we come back in, maybe have dinner together, and I think it'll be a great experience.
So what you're saying is we should do it in April, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Go ahead and do it in April
Yeah.
or July.
Yes,
Okay.
Abrams, yes, incorporate it like that. Yes. Yes, Mr. Taylor.
I think being in a number of, being as a number out there, and the more numbers we get out there, the more I think our voices will be heard as a board member, as a group. Just as for that as a group. And it'll make the public that's disabled, make them feel comfortable, hey, I want to be a part of that group.
Yes.
Just saying, even though I'm not on that, but I wanna be a part of it so we can keep this going too. And we get more people wanna come out and recognize it as this is a.
Right.
Cause a lot of people, how can I say it? A lot of people don't know what we do and how we do. They think it's just, oh, we just sit here and just blah, blah, blah. But we wants to say, no, we just not here for to just be blah, blah, blah. We doing things to be out in the community and just not around these walls.
Right. And that is a move that we want to make, as, being a new chair is a great opportunity for us also to collaborate, to unite, to strengthen ourselves as a council, doing things like that because, now that my seat has changed, I remember being a member and not really knowing what we did or how it navigates. So it just only, in my opinion, is my suggestion, it just strengthens us too, also while we're, still fulfilling the mission of being out and being recognized and letting people know who we are, what we do and things like that. So I just think it'll be a good idea.
And I was scared at one time to get my wheels wet. I can't see my feet.
Right.
I was scared to get my feet wet, but then once I signed up,
Yeah,
knowing that it wasn't just something to say, okay, we just blah, blah, blah.
right,
Hey, we being heard as a.
right,
And
right.
then my wheels could get wet and not be pushed out the wheel.
What do you guys think? What's on your minds? I've heard from two. What do y'all think? Staff, anybody? Yes.
I mean, I personally think it's a good idea. We did something similar one year where we all went and I was able to tour the Capitol and speaking with some of the representatives and stuff like that, but it's back in. So I think it's a great idea. I think it's, like you said, give you a chance to really meet representatives and kind of put a face. And then you have a conversation, and so it's not so scary, so.
So if members who have not attended get an opportunity, and it'll probably increase more participation now that they know how it looks, how it goes, and all of that. So that's what the retreat is about anyway. So just give real world experience. Yes.
No, I also want to say one more thing. And I feel like if we go to the Capitol, they can see us as people and not just numbers. Because when they don't see us as people, the reality is, unfortunately, we're just numbers. So I feel like if they see us, their perspective will change.
Agreed. Any other comments? Any further discussion?
I have something.
Yes.
So, just so I'm clear, you guys want to do it in April when session is in. So I'm thinking since you want the second part of the day to be at the Capitol, that we have sort of some kind of Lacan training, how to talk to your legislator, how to write a letter to your legislator, those types of things that you sort of learn in partners in policy making. During that third session, they learn all about how to write a testimony, how to tell your story. And so we can focus on the 3 agenda items that you all have on your agenda currently, where we could kind of do like what we do for the Lacan leaders. We just basically train them on how to present the fact sheets. And then basically tell your story to the legislator and why that issue is important. We all want increased rates, right? We all want increased waiver rates. We all want the DSWs to make more money. So I don't think that would be a hard one. We want LRS to stop losing all of their federal funding. We want the state to match that money so they can draw down their full federal allotment. And then the third issue, I'm drawing to. Oh, the emergency alert for individuals with developmental disabilities. I don't think that's gonna be a hard sell because we have several other organizations that are supporting that legislation, including the governor's office. So I don't think you guys will have to convince any of the legislators about that particular agenda item. But definitely, we want you guys to tell your stories about waivers and what your waiver means to you, what your workers mean to you, so we can have the first part of the day sort of centered around like LaCan activities and how to get involved. And then the second part of the day, we can maybe go
Yes,
to the capital.
actually do what you
Yes.
just was taught.
Exactly.
Question, so if we. I think it's a great idea, I'm just trying to figure out how we would navigate that with, if we accept this new schedule. You said in April,
Yeah, so the council retreat probably will be the day before the council meeting.
okay,
See what I'm saying? It would
Okay.
just be an added day before the council meeting.
Good question.
It would be the Wednesday.
29th.
the 29th April, that's what.
And it's just easier for us to tie the retreat to the council meeting
Mhm.
because people are already planning to come for the council meeting. And so you just add an extra day. And we can add that extra day and do the LaCan part in the morning and then head to the Capitol in the afternoon. I think that's a great retreat.
I definitely agree. Yes, yeah.
Just from staff or, is this like logistic wise feasible for the staff, like to do it in a session?
Well, I mean, we're always gonna have the council meeting. I mean, regardless of if there's a yellow shirt day or not, we trust our LaCan leaders to go and take over that yellow shirt day. So even if there was an issue that came up on April 30th, we would still have to have our council meeting. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it is feasible.
All right.
Yeah.
No, that,
Yes.
I can't plan sessions, so for you to do a retreat during session, I don't know how that impacts your plan of going to the Capitol, meaning you may have something going on that day, you might not have anything going on. There might be, occasionally they have events and things for legislators, you might have trouble finding them in the hallways, because they might be attending something that another organization has put on that day. Because at this point, it's not a disability day as in past where you have a day that is set. Likely miss that deadline of trying to block off something at the Capitol for your day. You would just be attending and trying to find people there. But yeah, it's hard to say if it's gonna actually coincide with anything we have going on. Like, it might not be a committee that is meaning that those issues are gonna be heard before. So then we might be going into other committees trying to find your legislators and things of that nature. So I'm not gonna lie and say planning is not going to be complicated. Would it be easier if you did it in a different month? I'll be honest, yes, in my opinion, that's just where. But if your thing is you wanna go to the Capitol and run into legislators, then you would have to do it in April.
Because there'll be a
But yeah,
session in
I-
July. So you won't want to anybody in July. Or October.
What? Yeah.
Unless there's special sessions.
so what if we, I mean, I know we wanna have the retreat, but maybe just make it that day that since we're already here, try and do something just like the day we did go, everybody went and you remember Miss Ebony, we went and some of the council members and the CAN went and we walked around and we was waiting on representatives after meetings. Remember that?
Are you talking about Disability Awareness Day?
Yeah.
It may have been. And
Yes.
we were just saying that, and even then, someone had blocked off where they were outside feeding the people and doing different things. You remember? So everybody wasn't really around as much, so we were kind of just waiting to catch someone on that day. So I'm like,
I
unless
think
we
they were
just,
still in session though, when
Yeah.
Disability Awareness
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened.
Okay.
They were still in session.
okay.
Yeah.
So maybe if you we plan a day to do something like that, but not necessarily our retreat.
I will say it is
Can
my
we-
understanding they're supposed to be doing one again this year. We could ask the Governor's Office of Disability Affairs when they come back.
Okay.
Or when they are here later today or tomorrow. But I know last year when they planned it, they wanted it to be an annual thing.
Okay.
So it's happening
You
again.
did, though.
Yeah,
And there you go.
they
No,
said.
I know, I'm just saying, I remember us going.
I
through it, something
I
like
didn't
a
attend
suggestion.
that.
Oh,
Good
Yeah, I
job.
don't think a lot of people were able to attend that.
Yeah.
I do remember what you're saying,
Yeah.
talking about though, but we do have, you know.
no, I'm for it, I'm just saying, well, maybe if it's not tied to the retreat, it could still be a date and.
Oh,
I was
Just to do it.
thinking the same thing, because I remember what you're talking about. Like, yeah. So,
Evan, what you thinking? I see I see you.
I mean, I had the same concerns as Brenton, which is why when I first started the conversation, I was saying April while we're in session, sometimes that's a little hard. But I'm gonna,
Explain hard.
for us to plan. And I'm saying that because we don't know when committees are gonna meet with the 3 items that y'all have on your legislative agenda. We could find out 3 days before, and then we're trying to get with our LACAN leaders to make sure that we have LACAN members there to provide testimony in those committees. And a lot of times, we don't even know when the bill is gonna be heard, or when, when that issue is gonna be heard. So sometimes we're sitting in committees all day. So it's just very unpredictable. We can't plan it. It's just really hard for us to plan during session.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's why you suggested to her, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's why you suggested that we try to put it when it wouldn't be a best time around that time.
Yeah, it's just hard for us to plan around session because again, we don't know like when issues are gonna be heard in committees. A lot of times we're stalking the website, trying to like look for agendas. And we're finding out maybe 2-3 days beforehand when a issue that you guys have on your agenda is gonna be heard. And then we're scrambling, trying to make sure that LACAN leaders can get here with LACAN members to provide testimony.
So let me ask you this question. How much time do the good can leaders need to push it out and do it there?
I mean, as much time as we can give them, you gotta realize we have LACAN leaders all over the state. So like our leader in Monroe, she is gonna need as much time as as we can give her, so she can gather up members to drive all the way down here to Baton Rouge for 1 day.
Gotcha.
Okay, so do that put an issue on the board when they have to drive and all that?
Well, no, it doesn't, it's not an issue for the council. I mean, we just try to give them as much time as we can before a committee is gonna hear any of your agenda items. And if they can come, great. If they can't find any members to come, that's okay as well.
Okay, the chair recognizes Jill.
okay, so if I ran the world, why don't we? Well, if I ran the world, it would be. But, why don't we have our retreat in July and make the retreat LACAN based in like how like get the leaders involved, like how to write testimony, how to tell your story, this, that, and the other, and then disability rights day. I mean, y'all can't like make us come, but like, I mean, the bottom line is, I like to think for the most part, we're like a group of like maybe friends, maybe not, I don't know. But like casual, like on disability, like if we do if they have the disabilities rights, they like, you can, as that, like, encourage, like, the council, like us, to go and then maybe like we do something like, I like make it, I don't wanna say field trip, we're not sending, but like an outing, and then so go forget. I mean, it's kind of a mute point for me. Sorry, Andrew. Because like I'm saying you can you, but like after probably the retreat would probably be after this disabilities, right? The council owning trademark. And that's just my thought.
Thank you, Jill. Have a hand raised.
Sorry, Jackie.
So I just wanted to let you all know that this year's Disability Awareness Day will be May 4th, 2026.
That the governor.
Thank you.
Is that on?
It's split second. Yeah, the governor's on.
542.
May what?
May 4th.
More logical.
All right, great discussion, and keep in mind, this is a discussion, no one is, right, wrong, it's a discussion, we're trying to get somewhere. So I appreciate everyone's suggestions, and I think that it's worth, just reviewing. And I think collectively, we're gonna come with the best, what works best for everyone. And that's what it's about. So great suggestions, great input. I know Ms. Haven and the staff is gonna work. We're gonna get it, I don't know what.
Well, can I say something,
Yes.
Chair? Okay. Can we at least figure out when y'all wanna have it? I know we've thrown out April, we've thrown out July. I don't think October is the best time to have it. I'm just gonna put that out there. I don't even think April is the best time, but I at least wanna have a time when you guys want to have it, so the staff can prepare.
I just wanted to make a quick statement about the timing. I know y'all are interested in having LaCan come and talk about like writing testimony and things like that. I know April is not an ideal time, but when we get to July, session is over. So if you were wanting people to go to actually, I guess, like give their story on your fact sheets for this session, we would be like at the end or past that point when July is here. So it would be prepping maybe for the next session.
That's what I thought of, is the window of.
So I just wanted to throw it out there. I know it's, and I know this year is a little different, because if we did it maybe in January, then it would, you know what I'm saying? Like we would have the time before the session starts, but January is not the option right now. And April gets kind of bogged down with session, but if you do it in July, it's past session already. So just some things to think about, that if you wanted to, again, just a suggestion, if y'all wanted to have it in July, maybe have a different idea and then save this idea for the next retreat, so that if we have it in January, you could prep with those new fact sheets before session starts. And then Brooke has her hand raised one line also.
I think you said, I'm sorry.
Oh, I just said, Brooke has her hand raised and then Aiden after.
Brooke, the chair recognizes you.
Hi, everyone. I have been listening to discussion. After listening to the DD staff, I do think we should do it at their recommendation of July, because it does seem like everything, just to give them time to plan for us. And also our LaCan, members, like our LaCan leaders in our state, are in our region, they also have like days that they go to speak to people at the Capitol, and I believe me and Angela went, recently. So I think that's an opportunity that we can participate with LaCan. And then we can do the retreat, staff retreat in July, like the staff is recommending.
Thank you, Brooke. Aiden?
I just want to say I agree with everything that Stephanie said. She was on point. So everything she said, I agree with. It's perfect.
Thank you, Aiden.
And Renata, can I say something too? I will say this, you guys don't have to have a retreat this year. Like Stephanie's saying that session will be over. So if we wanted to wait until after October, when y'all set your agenda again, and then we have the retreat in January, we're prepping y'all for when session begins. Does that make sense? Whatever you guys vote on for that agenda, you'll be prepped if we do like a full day like this, or we do like the LaCan leaders come in, you guys get a chance to work with them. We can even do mock legislative visits. The retreat can be whatever y'all want it to be. But it doesn't have to be this year. If y'all wanted to skip a year and then wait until January of next year, we can do that as well.
Whatever works best for you guys, you know,
That's what.
we know that you guys are, you know, busy and things like that, but, you know, we do have new members. We do want to just make sure that we're doing something where those members are not stagnant or not really knowing what they need to do or how this operates or anything like that. So we definitely want to do something, you know, and it may not, I don't know. I think with everybody, all the suggestions and ideas, my brain is thinking.
I'll just say this one last thing. They will definitely have orientation. So I don't know if you guys remember orientation last year. I broke it up into lunch and learns, 1 hour lunch and learns for like 5 sessions. Nicole was the last session. So they are getting all of the information in lunch and learns. They can ask questions, we can interact. I thought that that orientation went very well last year. And all the members are invited. You don't have to just be a new member. If you're a veteran and you want to come back and hear about conflicts of interest or what the council's responsibilities are as far as like federal responsibilities, anybody is invited to those orientation sessions. And so I think that I'm just saying that to say that the new members will definitely have something that they are learning about how the council operates, all about LaCan. There's a session about LaCan. There's a session about conflicts of interest and the rules of the Louisiana Council. And then we even have Nicole come at the last session and do parliamentary procedure. So they will definitely have something that they are learning about how the council operates. Just wanted to say that.
Okay. Why don't you have, I don't know about 2026, but why don't we start adding the January meeting an annual agenda prep section, and that be a retreat, and that way. No.
Wait, I say it again because I don't think I understand.
Once That's on to each January meeting, have like, what it, like, does anyone know what I said?
Agenda.
Like,
You basically want to be prepped on like advocacy based on the agenda you set in October, every January. Have it
Yeah.
As a retreat
Oh.
type. Not a full-blown retreat, but at least some sort of
that,
brief meeting or whatever it would be. Where you kind of package sort of what we're talking about. But cater to the agenda we're about to advocate.
that,
How do you write testimonies? How do you understand the facts?
but then, and it's a motion that.
I make no such.
I mean,
Go ahead, Karen.
I mean, we got and we got a lot going on. If we skip a year and then come back and do another. Wait, you saying that we don't have to have one and then we can have one the next year, correct?
Yes, that's,
I mean,
you don't have to.
so I'm gonna ask the committee and Chairman, you step in, you have to. I know, is it a lot on y'all to do what we trying to do? We also want the committee to be comfortable too, where it's not a pile up, where it's balled up, if I'm making any sense to you. We just trying to see, but we definitely wants to have something that the new committees, the new board members know, and we definitely wants to do this. But we need to know where the office stand too, where it's y'all standing right now, because I know, and it's probably line to do, we did a new move. So we trying to sell everything in, so what would be better next year, if I'm making sense to y'all?
I
You're
think that's
just
a question,
asking,
yeah, for the committee, like.
you're just trying to see what's convenient for them, because you know that we have, we have a goal and we want the new board members to be, acclimated and just knowing what they do. I'll say this, let's just be real here. Many of us, we got on the council together. We did not really fully know the roles and responsibilities. If you want more participation in LeCan, we have to make sure our council members know what we were supposed to do. If you want that, because I don't believe after I view like participation, I will speak for myself. I am big on accountability. I teach, so I was not always able to make these things. But if this is something that we want for council members to see the greater need of, then we have to have where we're teaching them their roles and responsibilities when they get on immediately. And I just think that need to be a focal point, even while considering what you guys have going on. But the council members, it needs to be a must that they know and fully understand, so that there won't be any excuse for further down the road where they're, we're being told we're not participating, we're not calling. Well, I look at it both ways. Maybe they were not aware. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they didn't know how to write, so it's just a lot of things that, at least from my perspective on, because I've been in their seat. I know what I felt. I know those things. So if we want the council to really be strengthened as a whole and for us to perform our tasks and roles and responsibilities, we have to make these things priority. That's just where I am with it. So wherever we can have a retreat, it may not have to be a retreat, but it needs to be something where at least I feel that these council members have what they need. Yes.
I agree with what you're saying, but ultimately, I do think we don't need to tie it to a retreat. It could be just a day of where, I think when I first got on, I felt the same way. I still sometimes feel, okay, let me see what my response is. I'll contact Ebony, answer certain questions. But like even the mentor, when I first got here, I asked for a mentor. That wasn't really implemented at the time, but now, you know, with Ebony, like we have mentors, you know, if you really want to say, I want to talk with Jill because I feel like she could teach me
No one
something.
wants to talk. with
And it doesn't
Jill.
have to be
Right.
connected to a retreat, that's not
Right, that's
what
what I'm saying, let's just not maybe do that, that's all I was agreeing, you know, with that, but with that being said, yes, we do need to. I hate to say it, like a party, we have to have where we can meet everybody and get to know everybody before we come to the meeting. And everybody, oh, that's so-and-so, we saw her online, we interviewed her, but we really don't know, and then people are not, sometimes people are not approachable, you feel like. Do I go say something, you know, so maybe if we can meet each other sometime before, like if we got a meet in January, say April, the 29th or whatever, I'm just using that as an example. 29th, okay, we meet the day before, or we meet that night and have a get together or something where we can just kind of, kumbaya maybe? I don't know. That's just my thought. Let's say in January, not so much in April, but not to a retreat. I just don't think it needs to be tied to a retreat.
Thank you, Ms. Angela. Yes,
Just a suggestion from the bleachers back here. I think that an easy way for y'all to do it, and this is just me saying easy because it throws it on towards Ebony. But she already does the orientation online with the new members. How hard, or would you think about adding on what you're talking about now, a session on calling legislatures, on writing your testimony, just briefly to give them an idea how that's done. And then you could go more in depth at a later time when you have time to plan and retreat. That's just
thank you.
back here to back.
No, it's input and it's valuable, and that's what we're here for. Thank you. Yes.
Also say, every year in debriefing, I mean, the CAN leaders beg for your involvement.
Mhm.
So frequently throughout the year, regionally, they're hosting, member meetings that cover exactly what you're talking about. And frequently throughout the year, they also have statewide LaCan member meetings that they're doing where they jointly get together and host these. And a lot of times they're partnering with their FHF center as well to do advocacy trainings. So while I'm on board, if you want to do something every year specifically with our agenda, that's great. But I can't sit here and make it seem like the information is not out there, because the information is out there. They host these meetings, they beg for involvement from our council member, and some of y'all are really involved. And some of y'all may not even know who your LaCan leader is. And so it really depends on kind of, if you want that information, if you want to tackle it, it's out there. We have ways for you to access that information and participate in those trainings. And there's a lot of LaCan leaders that I know who would actually do an individual training with you if you wanted. They meet up with you, they do a Zoom with you just to get to know you and just to help you understand the agenda and write your testimony, because we would actually love for y'all to come do testimonies at the Capitol as well. And they can help you write it and do all that stuff as well. The other thing I just wanted to add was keep in mind when you're thinking of planning, especially if you're going to look at planning, let's say every year you want to do this particular training, you have this new schedule that you're going to vote on. And so you're going to have a month where you're having a meeting every single week of the month, including the full council meeting. And the full council meeting is an all-day meeting. And if you want to tie something into a time when y'all are all here, then you'd have to start considering, are you adding a day at the end of that month? Or are you getting rid of something in your full council meeting? So I know y'all haven't gotten to that yet on your agenda, but this is probably going to factor into some of your decisions that you might be making. And I know some of y'all like to be here in person for every meeting. So just consider that you'd be here every month, every week.
I don't. Community.
But just in case, it's in your packet for y'all to look at, if y'all needed to figure out how you factor in additional retreats or annual training or anything of that nature.
We're running out of time. I know, like, I mean, it's 11:06. You guys are supposed to stop at 11:45 and we still have like 4 things on the agenda. So I don't know if you want to
Kind of come back so we can give you a date or what do you?
That's one voice ever.
I don't know if you guys want to vote on the
You guys
date.
wanna vote on the date or do you wanna come back to it? You wanna go through this and then come back?
I know.
Or-
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Then come back maybe.
That way we can think about it. All right, the next item is the consideration of the new council meeting schedule. Attached is the proposed meeting schedule, the standing committees and council. Ebony, would you like to start the discussion?
Yes, I would. Okay, so this is a continuation again of a conversation that we had in October. I did also include something else in your packet. It's the council expenses for 2025. I know that I remember at the last meeting, we kind of talked about the reason I brought the options for y'all to change your meeting schedule was because of budgetary reasons. And so I kind of wanted you all to like firsthand see how much money you guys are spending on council meetings. And that's including ad hoc committee meetings. So for anyone that's not here, it is linked on our website under the executive committee meeting agenda. So if anybody wants to pull up, thank you, Stephanie, for pulling that up for me. But I just wanted to kind of show you guys the expenses for the council meetings. Now, if you look at the January meeting, of course, we had the pivot. I don't know if you guys remember last January, we were gonna have your council meeting at our office. However, the office manager, he rented out the space without telling us, so we had to pivot at the last minute and have your council meeting at the Embassy Suite. So, that was an additional cost, but as you can see, the council retreat just by itself is about $5,500. In April, that will be like a regular council meeting, us paying for travel, gas, hotels, and then meals. So your average cost is around $2,200. If you kind of look at April. And then in July, we spent a little more because we had another meeting in July. We had the nominating committee in July, but then in August, we had the planning committee. And then we had the legislative ad hoc committee meeting in October, and then our council meeting. So in all, we spent about $18,000 on council meetings. So I wanted to bring that up because again, I wanted to let you guys know, I'm only suggesting this because of budgetary reasons. And so if you pull up that other document now, Stephanie. Yeah. Based on the vote that you all had in October, which was to move the standing committee meetings to throughout the quarter in lieu of the Wednesday before. This is the schedule that the staff and I came up with. After your October meeting, we met and we decided that this would be the best schedule. I know there was some concerns from some council members that you wouldn't remember what happened in those committee meetings. So we decided that the best month would be the month that you guys would have your council meeting anyway. So y'all would have an April meeting anyway. So we would have the committees throughout the month on a Wednesday. So as you can see, let's just take April, for instance. April 1st would be the self-determination and community inclusion meeting. April 8th would be Act 378. April 15th would be education and employment. And then April 30th, which would be our full council meeting. The executive committee would meet in the morning. And then when we would have our full council meeting immediately after that meeting, after a small break. So you can kind of see the schedule that I included at the bottom for the actual council meetings. Now, we would, as staff, we would speak to our chairs for our SDCI and Education and Employment Committee and Act 378 to determine what will be the best time for those days throughout the quarter. And we would send calendar invites, we would send reminders, just to make it easy for everybody, since this is something new, and we want to make sure that you guys are prepared. And so that's the schedule.
Oh,
We're not.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was.
It's in bold. It's okay. May I get a copy of the expenses sheet?
Cause that's it, that's,
Where?
oh, you go, bud.
Where's the old?
They didn't slap me, I'm upset.
I know, I was looking back.
If he's missing one, Rakisha, he can have. He can have mine if he's missing it.
Unless I'm
Okay,
losing my eyeball, which is possible. Thank you.
all right,
Thank you. So I can look too and have a heart attack.
Well, don't do that. I'm gonna scoot over there.
okay, is there, motion to recommend the proposed meeting schedule? for the
I'm
council?
sorry, Jackie has it.
I'm sorry.
So this is kind of disappointing for me, because ever since we started with Families Helping Families, I have attended every committee day meetings. Because that's where the discussions are had, the decisions are made. And I wouldn't be able to justify coming to Baton Rouge every week for a month, 4 times a year. So it kind of makes me sad that this is where it's going.
I did just want to also remind everybody that there is a virtual option. I know you like coming in person, but there's also a virtual option for both council members and members of the public, because these meetings will be short. I mean, on average, our committee meetings are about 2.5 hour blocks. So they would not be a full day meeting. So people are, or could participate online, but I understand it's not the same, but there is that option. And then, Brooke has her hand raised.
Can't see that.
Yes.
The chair recommends, Brooke,
Yes, okay, so I wonder, is this gonna become a barrier for, because if these are our meetings and they're gonna be separate days now, the opportunity for people across the state to chair or possibly be on the executive council, they're not gonna be able to, because they would not wanna drive in just for an hour, right? They would elect to do it on Zoom, but then you can't chair if you're on Zoom.
I thought you could.
That is for any individual with a developmental disability, as I have understand the law.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, it's me again. And I hate to nitpick and everything, but how is this gonna save money with the DD council? Is that gonna like eliminate the need for hotels?
Yes,
Is that
so
what it is?
that was, we had the conversation
And
at the October meeting, with the council. And yes, it will save money on meals. It'll save money on hotel costs. It'll save money on rental costs. And it'll save money on mileage.
but it's gonna be 2 days that people would, if they decide to drive in, it would be 2 separate days of the month. And they would have to do so because the committee meeting is gonna be one day and then the
Then the
full
full,
council is gonna be another.
yes. If they decide to attend in person, again, like Stephanie mentioned, these committee meetings are 2.5 hours at most. So some people may choose to attend those virtually instead of driving, and coming in person. And I'm not saying, I want to be very clear, because I think there was some miscommunication last time. I'm not saying that people can't come in person. That is not what this is about. This is strictly about council expenses.
Right.
And so, like I kind of explained to the council in October, expenses are rising. Gas is rising, the cost of food is rising, the cost of even hotels, like the state rate just raised because hotels are not accepting that $100 anymore. So their funding is stagnant. It's been at the same $1.3 million for the last, Brenton has been here for 10 years before that. And so we have continuing rising costs, but our funding is staying the same. So the staff and I looked at big ticket budget items where we could save. And so one of the ways we're saving is having our own space. And then we were looking at council meetings. Another big ticket item is travel. We spend a lot of money in travel. And so how can we reduce those? How can we reduce that, those costs? Again, I gave the executive committee and the council 2 other options or suggestions. I gave them 2 other suggestions and they decided to choose this one.
Thank you, Ebony. Aiden?
Okay, I'm just looking at this. I might have to get my thoughts together on this because I personally believe that, yeah, virtual is great, but a lot of people would like to be able to attend in person. And if you have it 2 separate days, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but if you have it 2 separate days, that'll be really hard for people who want to. So there's got to be a way that we can cut some of this without cutting the people that want to be able to attend in person. I don't know how yet, but there's got to be a way because something's. I understand that's really hard, but something's gotta give because for the people, that's not fair for the people who want to attend in person, but can't because now it's split into 2 days. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense at all?
I have.
1 second. No, Aiden, you wasn't finished.
Did I make any sense?
Yes.
Or was I all over the place?
No.
Cause I tend to do that a lot. Especially for all of you guys sitting in this room, play an important role. And I feel that the people that play a very important role, that want to be here in person should be able to be here, no matter where they're from. That's just my opinion. I don't know how we can figure that out, but I think it's something that needs to be figured out. Because I, for one, enjoy seeing your beautiful face when you come, and I want you to be able to attend in person. So.
I agree.
Oh, you done?
Yeah.
I just want to reiterate, just piggybacking on what Ebony said, this is not to just take away anything. The root of this decision is budget. We want to keep that in mind. We all love coming to the meetings in person and seeing each other's faces and things like that. I myself enjoy it. However, the root is budgets. And I think the last meeting, she kind of explained a little bit more on I remember you giving like an idea of how just kind of gave us a little outlook on how things could be, a possibility, you know, just with money and things like that. I think you kind of just did it, but last time you kind of just sold me with what you said. I can't remember, but you know. I remember, but I can't, you know, say it right now, but it kind of just touched me. I was like, okay, well, that's wise to think about this now, instead of having to think about it later. And that's how I took it, you know, so it's not that, you know, she said we just, it is solely based off the root of budget. And I think that when we are making a decision, we have to think about that part, even though it does not, it may not be something that we totally want, but what is the best thing? If that makes sense. Yes, you know.
Yo, my question is, I got a couple of questions. We see this budget sitting there.
Mrs. Taylor, can you speak up a little bit?
Yes, ma'am, I can speak up. I see this budget sitting in front of us. The question I wanna ask, when y'all get these rooms, do y'all pay for these rooms up ahead?
No, we reserve them, Eric, and then once the date comes, the person checks in and then checks out, they charge us.
So you had to put something down on these rooms?
No,
Don't put nothing down.
Now, if it's not canceled within enough time, we still pay for that vacant room.
yes.
Do y'all hold any board members for that? If they cancel, y'all still pay for that room? Do we get a slap on the hand where you gotta pay something for?
So I don't know if everybody's noticed, but Bridget and I have changed the wording in the RSVP email because we've had that happen a couple of times to us where, and I realize circumstances come up, but if a council member does not let us know in enough time that they're not gonna need the room, we're still charged. Now, as your executive director, I am not gonna hold you guys accountable for the full amount, but we can't pay taxes. And some hotels charge taxes when a person does not show up for that room. So we've changed the wording in the email to say that you may be responsible for some of that, for a portion of that room cost. And the taxes is what I'm talking about, what we're talking about. We can't pay taxes on our purchase card, neither our travel card. And so council members will be responsible for paying those taxes. The council still pays for the room, but the taxes are what the council members will start to be responsible for.
Okay, but I might, Chairman, step in if you may. If we been hold for holding a seat and we wait for the last minute of telling you, hey, we coming, and that seat, and you have did it, why didn't that hold for it at all? Because then that's messing with the budget.
I mean, they can be, we can hold them accountable for all of it. I mean, sometimes circumstances happen, it's out of our control. And so I do take those types of things into consideration.
And I understand that, I mean, sickness and stuff like that, I understand what you're saying on that part. But if we get a list, then okay, be here this day. And then you tell, it's just like me telling you, hey, Ebony, I'm gonna be here, boom. And then I wait 2 hours before I'm supposed to be here. That's supposed to be truly on me. Not on the budget. Two, why we can't take the food out and everybody be responsible for their meal? It's just 2 days.
We could, sorry,
One second, what are you saying?
No, ma'am.
sorry.
That's all right. I mean, being serious. And then that's a spot that we know we got that back in the budget. But if emergency happen, a person needs where they in a situation that they just can't. They should be able to come to you or the chairman and say, I just can't.
I agree with Eric.
I mean, I'm just being honest because if I say I need to eat, and I'm a big boy, and I can't, and that's just 2 days saying I need to eat, so why I can't stack $50 or something to the side for them 2 days?
So I'm gonna respond to that. So Eric, you all are volunteers, right? You come to the council, it is hard work. That this work that you all do is hard work. And so the least that we could do is provide a meal for y'all to come all the way from Lake Charles. And other areas around the state. The least we can do, if you're gonna come to the meetings, is provide the meal and help you pay for your stay. So I don't know if as your executive director, I don't know if I would be comfortable saying you guys are on your own. You're volunteering, you're coming in for a meeting, and I'm not gonna provide you with a meal.
Actually, you just made me sit back down in my wheelchair, I understand, but I'm just saying, a cut somewhere, I understand.
I understand.
Ebony, Mr. Taylor, I wanna just kind of ask this, it made me think about it. When you guys, I know you very, detail, is this the only area where we could cut back? Is this like
For administrative costs, yes, like our rent is set.
okay,
All of the other things that come from administrative costs, like all of the costs that the Louisiana Department of Health charges you, those costs I can't get out of.
okay,
They're gonna charge us for human resources. They're gonna charge us for technology services. They're gonna charge us for civil service, all of those fees. They're gonna charge us for our phone bill. I can't really do anything about those. Travel is where I
Where
can
you
cut,
can cut.
I mean, it's
Gotcha.
just like your everyday budget. Like when you're looking at your budget for your homes, like there are some costs that are just fixed. And then some costs that, my family and I, we eat out a lot. That's a cost that I can cut. I'm just taking my personal budget, for example. I can easily cook more and then save money at home. And so it's similar to that. Like the travel was something that we could cut down on as the other administrative costs. I can't do anything.
thank you. Aiden had his hand, then I'll get Jill, and then I'll get you in the back.
Okay, I was just thinking as far as like people canceling last minute, and that's causing, people to still have to pay for the percentage. There's gotta be a way, like if you're sick or whatever, people get sick, but there's gotta be a way, like you have to provide some kind of documentation somewhere for somebody saying, hey, I'm sick, I can't make it. You won't be held responsible for X, Y, and Z amount of money. But if you're not just coming, then okay, then you are responsible. If that makes any sense. And as far as, I wanted to, say something about the meals. Which I'm very thankful, for the meals. Thank you guys for providing them for us. But could we possibly maybe, cut down the options of what we were able to get? Would that not be a good idea?
We can definitely cut down on the options. We can provide a salad and a main meal.
Would that save anything?
I don't know if that's gonna affect the budget that much, if we're offering 2 options rather than 4.
Okay.
I don't think that's gonna affect it. 'Cause whenever we are choosing meals, we're trying to stay in the same price range. So everything's around the same price range.
Okay,
It's just, I don't think that's gonna affect it all that much.
okay, just a thought I had.
Thank you, Jill.
Okay, what can looking at this really different than I saw in October. But like, and I'm really sad because this is the second item that we like. There's not an easy happy medium solution in Ebony, not to sound ungrateful because I am and we all are, but if in-person meetings is the common consensus, then instead of Outback, could we get Wendy's? See,
I love it.
no one answered my first question, and my second question is laughable.
So can I respond, Renata? I'm sorry, Ju, I didn't mean to make you feel like we weren't trying to answer your questions. So can you repeat the first one?
I cannot.
Okay, well, the second one, we order off something called Easy Cater.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if Wendy's is an option, but I mean, if you guys want to go that route, yes, we can definitely order Wendy's or, you know, some other fast food restaurant. I think we were just trying to make the meals a
Right,
little more.
like you said, you want literally dinos, like, yeah.
Like I would literally want to what?
I like how you want to have, like, provide us a meal and you want it to be a good meal, not just a junior bacon cheeseburger with mayonnaise and lettuce. Sorry.
Thank you, Jill.
And then whatever council members shared hotel rooms.
I don't know if everybody will feel comfortable with that. Like you just said, like you just mentioned, like there's no happy medium. I think some council members will be okay with that, some won't. So I'm gonna push that,
Okay.
that option.
Were you done?
Yeah.
You good? Okay.
So can we like, cause I agree, I feel like these are all just very small, like Band-Aids on a bullet wound as far as the budget thing, like these small cuts. I definitely think that if, you know, you're spending a day trying to tackle really important issues, fueling your body with something good versus McDonald's, it's, you know, a marginal cost. However, why, like, does it take a day? Because these meetings, like those meetings that are one each week, right? They're about an hour long, you said?
About 2.5.
About 2.5 hours. If we were not more efficient, time effective and time efficient, could you not put all those meetings in one day? And say like, okay, we're gonna get this done on one day. Let's be more efficient, more effective. Let's push the conversation forward. Let's be more solution oriented versus splitting everything up.
So currently they are on one day. Today is the day. It will be, all of the meetings happen back to back to back. And so does that answer your, I mean, like they're currently arranged like that?
Right.
And so we wouldn't be saving any money, if that makes sense.
Okay, I thought we were talking about the meetings that were once per week, that the schedule was up previously.
So this is
Now we're
the
not.
new schedule. This is the new schedule that
Right.
we're proposing based off the motion that the council voted on at the last quarterly meeting.
I see.
So like,
Um,
all of this is happening.
Right, exactly.
so yeah, so currently they're all happening in one day, like today.
Right, exactly. What was the idea behind changing that? If you don't mind me asking.
Okay, so the budget, the cost, yes.
Because it's a 2-day thing.
Yes, because it's a 2-day meeting. Yes.
All right, all right, guys, due to, the timing, we need to either have a motion to recommend this to the council or just present it to the council tomorrow. Which would you like to do? So if you want a motion to recommend this, let's do that. If not, we need to move forward and just present it to the full council. And let them decide. So, us. What y'all think?
Brooke has her hand raised.
Brooke, the chair recognizes you.
I would like to make the motion to present it to the full council.
Okay, motion to present it to the full council.
Madam Chair. So are you saying that you are recommending the proposed schedule? Because it's gonna be presented to the council whether you support the proposal or not.
Oh, okay, it's gonna be presented either way.
Yes.
Yes.
So is your motion to recommend to the council that they vote for this? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Okay, because it's gonna be presented to the council for a decision and a vote regardless. It's just whether or not you as the executive committee is
Oh,
recommending that you support it.
right, I don't think we came to a consensus as a council, it doesn't seem like it.
What'd you say?
Can you repeat yourself, bro?
I don't think we came to the agreement, like when I'm listening, it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like majority came that we will wanna recommend it, or.
Okay, executive committee, are we what are you guys thinking? Are we recommending this or are we just gonna let it be presented? Are we recommending it? Do we need to do?
I know. Yeah.
If you recommend it, the motion would be to recommend that the council vote on this. That would be the motion. If you don't feel that way, then you can just not take a position and send it to the council and let the council make a decision.
So which one do you guys want to do? I would think probably just send it.
Let's get things in cold first.
Okay, all right, guys, so we have established that, we're just gonna be presented to the full council. Okay, the next item, for consideration is the council code of conduct. Attached is the proposed. Sure. Yeah. It's the code of conduct, but it is attached, just the wrong word, it's fine. Ebony, would you like to start the discussion?
Yes, okay, so this is, again, something you all discussed at the last council meeting. The full council voted for the staff to come up with a draft of a code of conduct for the council members. And so Stephanie researched and found New York's code of conduct, and we really liked it. I know the chair asked for there to be sort of like consequences if someone doesn't follow the code of conduct, sort of what we have for our attendance policy. And we found one that we thought would match our council here in Louisiana very well. So it is in your packets. I can answer any questions if you guys have any. But it's sort of self-explanatory, but I can answer any question.
Like, a lot of accountability, love it. Chair recognizes you.
The serious behavior, it just specifies if a member threatens others or acts violently. My personal opinion would be that the unwanted behavior touching and or comments of sexual nature might fall under serious behaviors.
Thank you for that. Is there a motion to recommend the proposed code of conduct to the council?
Brooke has her hand raised.
Okay, let's go back. Brooke, you recognize?
Oh, just wanted to make the motion to to approve it for the full council.
Okay. She's okay. Okay, it is moved and, oh, is there a second? Okay, Ms. Jill seconds the motion, so it is moved and seconded by Jill. Is there any discussion from committee members?
Wait,
So the motion is to recommend the proposed code of conduct to the council. Okay, is there any discussion from committee members? Yes, Jill.
so I'm sorry, Ebony, what were you saying the difference between this and what we read? What y'all sent us during the quarter?
This is the same thing.
Oh,
Yeah, this
okay,
is the same thing that I sent
okay,
to the full council
I'm sorry.
for you guys to, there were no changes, but
Okay,
the only change I'll make is the change that, Mr. Mike just made, and that's to avoid, like, touching or comments of a sexual nature to serious behavior, to that portion of the code of conduct.
all right, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any public comment? Okay, are you ready for the question? The question is on, is there a the question is on to recommend the proposed code of conduct to the council. When Ebony calls your name, please respond with yes if you are in favor of the motion, or no if you're opposed to the motion, or abstain if you're not voting.
Ms. Johanno?
Yeah.
Ms. Johanno, yes. Ms. Angela Harmon?
Yes.
Ms. Angela Harmon, yes. Ms. Brooke Stewart?
Yes.
Ms. Brooke Stewart, yes. Mr. Eric Taylor, I know you just, yes. Mr. Eric Taylor, yes. You have 4 yeses.
Okay, the yes votes have it, and the motion is adopted.
Eric, what if we motion to like move you out of the council? Just,
Well, I moved it out, yes.
okay. Just,
The next item of business is the quarterly executive director evaluation. So we did receive the results from that survey. You guys reviewed everything? Okay, so now you can go into the executive session. Okay, we have to go to executive session. to-
Okay, this is when I get on the link, right?